organized labor was our last go-to because when they decide to take action, I don't care who you are, you will pay attention. And in the space of just 1 week, have you seen the number of releases that have come from the Ministry of Information?
Surprisingly.
And now we woke up yesterday and we are not going on with it. What happened? We've actually authorized people to go into our forest reserves to mine. The large scale people are doing it and they are doing it responsibly. But if we are telling any other person that come and take, and this license will be granted by the Minister of Lands, who is acting on behalf of the president. How are you telling me this story? And he will come out and tell us that he drinks tap water every morning.
Okay, your acheke is coming. The same water they will use to do your acheke. So the acheke you love, the same water they will use it.
As we speak, we are left with 2 months into December elections. By the time the state will go through the processes of declaring a state of emergency, we may have gotten closer to elections. And when the state of emergency is declared also around that time, it is going to even affect the 7th December election. One of the major things we're asking for is revocation of the LI that allow mining in water bodies and then forest reserves. The president today have issued a green paper. A copy has been brought to us, organized labor, instructing the revocation of the LI that allow mining in water bodies and forest reserves. This is what we want. It is being achieved. Why do we go on strike?
Organized labor isn't organized after all, as they have abandoned their decision to go on an industrial strike to force the government to end galamsey now. What is going to be the impact and the fight on galamsey now? What will be the effect? Well, we are about to jump into all of that right here on Sauce and Pepper. Kingsley,
hi.
You know when Organized Labor and TUC, they announced somewhere in August that we are giving the government the whole of September to fix galamsey now. If not, by 10th October, we are embarking on a nationwide strike. And it came with a lot of applause and joy from Ghanaians. Only for us to hear today that that action is not happening. And that the reason they give is that government has solved almost all the problems they listed to government. So there was no need. It wouldn't make sense to go to still continue with that strike. So what does this do to the union as an institution and its impact on the fight against galamsey now?
All I can say is a stain on their white shirts.
Okay.
That's the best description I can give.
Why do you say that?
I am being disappointed is even an understatement. Like I feel betrayed as a Ghanaian.
Okay.
I feel like we've been stabbed in the back, right? We had options, and one of the options we had was to protest. We've done that.
Right.
We've written petitions. We have media have gone round trying to get us videos of how bad our water bodies have become. Media is speaking about it day in, day out. Let's give it to the Ghanaian media.
We must commend the Ghanaian media.
All out when it comes to this state.
I agree.
And all of this, for some weird reason, fell on deaf ears. So the president and the executive decided not to act, not even do one of the things to let people know that, okay, we are trying to solve the problem until the organized labor stepped in. I think first it was UTAG.
Yes.
They released a statement trying to tell the government that if you don't do this, we will do that. And then when we saw that organized labor, which comprises of...
Yeah, almost, I mean,
that's all public sector workers, right?
Organized labor is everywhere in your sector.
You can't mess with them.
They are in your hospitals.
You can't.
They are in your airports.
You can't.
They are in your schools.
You can't.
You know?
You can't.
So I was particularly happy.
And in a banking space, they will tell you lender of last resort, that's Bank of Ghana. But in this fight against galamsey, organized labor was our last go-to because when they decide to take action, I don't care who you are, you will pay attention. And in the space of just 1 week, have you seen the number of releases that have come from the Ministry of Information?
Surprisingly.
But why do you wait till the D-Day, like days to the declared day of taking the action? That is when you are seen as though you are doing something about it. Why do we wait and make things complicated? And now we woke up yesterday and we are not going on with it. What happened?
You know, it only tells me about the leadership crisis we have in this country. And even proud to that, there were allegations of bribery, leaders being compromised and all of that. So today, if we sit here and you tell us that you are no longer going on strike, does it not then feed into that rumors that leadership has been compromised? There are bribery allegations. Now they say that the president have done almost a lot of the things they demanded. And one of the things is the revocation of the LI that allows them to mine in forest reserves. And also we see in the news that military men have been deployed to some of our river bodies. So do you think it's laughable?
Enough? It's not.
It's laughable how?
We have deployed the strategies in the past. Where did it get us to? We deployed the same strategy 2017, 2018, 2019. A chairman of the Interministerial Committee on Illegal Mining wrote a 30-page, if not more, report on how this didn't work. Excavators were seized. Overnight, the excavators vanished into thin air.
A country called Ghana.
And you feel like that's why people were calling for, especially Media Coalition Against Galamsey. They were calling for state of emergency. Let's stop mining for a month or two. Let's put our house in order, because guess what? We were seeing it far away in the eastern region, in the Ashanti region. Now the Wager Dam is being polluted.
Yeah, it's getting there.
So if you think it's far away from you, this is how close it's gotten to.
That's true.
This is how close it's gotten to.
Now we would all agree that this fight has become every Ghanaian's fight. So now you would expect CSOs, you would expect even so now let's look at the arms of government, who are supposed to be, the people who to tackle this menace. Now let's take the legislature, for example, Parliament. Recently, the chairman of the Assurance Committee, in the person of Okujeto Ablakwa, met with the Minerals Commission, the head of Minerals Commission, and they were probing and all of that. But really, the sense you get from Ghanaian is that even hearing the Minerals Commission only makes you cry the more against the fight. So is it that our arms of government are not up and doing, or they are up and doing, but a certain higher power, or say the executive, is stifling them? What is the reason?
Executive is not stifling anybody. On 7 January 2021, I was one of the people that was so excited about hung parliament.
Right.
For the first time in our Fourth Republic. In fact, in the history of Ghana's parliament, where you have equal number of both sides, on both sides. NDC, MPP, 137 with one independent candidate.
But to be fair to the other party, that independent candidate gave an open check to the MPP. So
regardless, he's still not an MPP member as we speak. In Parliament, he's an independent candidate. He chose to go to the MPP side. That's his business. But a parliament like this, without sounding attacking to the legislature, I felt it was going to be one of the most thorough, one of the most busiest parliaments that will scrutinize every single thing the executive brings, because guess what? You have equal numbers in the parliament house or in legislature as we have it. But we sat there, we approved and made sure that this LI to mine in our forest reserve was approved in that same parliament. Why are we turning around to act like we care?
There are other people that would argue that even though we have 137 in Parliament, for you to overturn a motion or a bill, that you need 2/3 of the House. So now the onus will now lie on the part of the minority to marshal that 2/3 number in order to revoke such things. So
I am not even here
really,
to do MPP or NDC.
Okay.
It is the Parliament of Ghana. So if you are MPP and such a thing is bad, you are telling me that in the interest of your party, you will still support it, and that particular decision will go against the country Ghana.
No, that
Is that what we are saying?
No, that
If
shouldn't
no, then you sat in there. I never, to be honest, and to be fair, pardon my ignorance,
Right.
I never heard of this LI being even considered in Parliament.
Yeah,
Many of
me
the
too.
things that we don't see.
I want
But
to see
mine
the sponsors of that bill.
it would definitely have come from the executive. But we never heard a thing about it until this mining thing came up, and they're like, we've actually authorized people to go into our forest reserves to mine. The large scale people are doing it, and they are doing it responsibly. But if we are telling any other person that come and take, and this license will be granted by the Minister of Lands, who is acting on behalf of the president. How are you telling me this story? Yeah. And he will come out and tell us that he drinks tap water every morning.
you see,
this is why I miss the olden days where thunder would just strike somebody's head and kill the person at once.
Has the judiciary, as an arm of government, really done justice to this fight?
So the judiciary, like I always say, they are there to administer the law, interpret it, and make sure that it is used fairly.
Exactly.
They don't enact laws. Let's get that. The body constituted in this country to make laws and enact laws is the Parliament of Ghana. So what the judiciary can do is that if there's any law that they have to use, when they bring you before them and both parties, which is both lawyers, either the prosecutor and then the defense, they will just open the constitution, open the laws, relevant laws, and say, this applies. Yes. Maximum of 12 years. I'm using my discretion to give you 5 years. It is the law.
Right.
If you have issues with it, go to Parliament, make sure that it is amended.
With this, do you think the court has been too lenient with this fight? And that is why we are seeing this impunity.
If the law says if you arrest someone who is into illegal mining and the maximum sentence is 4 years, how is that the judge's fault?
Okay.
Plus a fine, for instance. Okay. How is that the judge's fault? What is in front of the judge is what the judge will use. So if we want to make it stiffer or make it very, very, very deterrent for others, then we should be talking to the people that will send a bill to Parliament to say, okay, we are fighting this and we want to make the punishment 20 years in jail. We want to make it this, we want to make it that. So, but for the judge, they will just open their law book. If you don't understand something, they will just interpret it. They don't change or add anything. Just that, yes, some of their rulings will through the meaning you seek, can become law because maybe we're using it wrongly. Right. Now, through the judgments, we are using it this way. And that is what the judiciary or the Supreme Court says is the meaning of it. That's the only thing. But the law, as we have it, or the laws we have here, the judiciary do not enact laws.
Now, if it comes to one arm where everyone is looking up to and asking questions, the executive, have they lived up to expectation?
I'm asking you, have they lived up to expectation?
Zero.
So why are you asking me the obvious?
So, you know, because there are people who actually believe that this government have done very well with this fight.
And they have every reason to believe it, because you are seeing 6, I'm seeing 9.
Right.
No matter what you do, some people have actually sold their soul to their political parties.
Okay.
It will never be Ghana first. Let's take that.
Right.
It will never be Ghana first, even when you are killing them. Some of them will even tell you, if I die, put my party flag on my coffin. They tell their family members before they die.
Wow. You know, at a time, it's great. At a time when, you know, organized labor and all TUCs, UTAG should be presenting a united front. As we speak, UTAG has gone ahead with their strike. And UTAG is supposed to be part of organized labor. And now, if you listen to UTAG's claim, they are saying that all the things you presented to us, and for that reason we are going on strike, you bring it back again and tell us this is an advanced way of or how you've advanced with your solution solving problems. Now they say that there is no difference. It's still the same thing. So then how can you tell us based on this that we should call off our strike, when really the very reason why we are going on strike is what you are still presenting to us? Will we ever win this fight?
So,
and moving forward, what will be the posture of CSOs, and also when they organized labor need their conditions of services up and all of that, how will they approach this moving forward?
For me, like I said in the beginning of our conversation, I feel like it's a stain in their white shirts. Right. Personally, I feel betrayed. And this period, or what has happened today, will go down in history. Because God should give us life. Yeah. That's the most important thing. Because I want to see an organized labor agitating over unpaid salary or some condition of service or anything that they feel like government is not doing. And for me, personally, if you ask me, I would ask the media not to even cover anything of them again or about them again. Because this is for our collective good. Though. When you are fighting for your salaries and your conditions of service, things that do not directly affect me, I try to lend my voice. I try to also solidarize with you. But now someone is in. So last 3 days, I watched a news story on one of the TV stations, and teachers are posted to a community where galamsey is very, 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 very prevalent there, and they are going back for reposting or transfer because the water they will use, you can't even wash your white shirt or white dress without water, and they are telling them to put alum in the water. They put it in there and it is not even changing color. Sad. And such a person will have to depend on it to cook, so they have to resort to sachet water and bottled water. Teacher, how much is your salary? That you would be now using sachet water to cook. But if truly they've taken something, allegedly, if truly they've taken something and that is why they have rescinded their decision, then I think posterity will be the judge.
And for me, what I would want to say is that I am calling on the executive and government to allow people to speak freely, to allow people to share their opinions and feelings, and not to use state apparatus and everything at their disposal to stifle and gag voice of dissent, because these are the things in my personal opinion, I believe builds a democratic nation, a proper, well-built democratic nation. If the people cannot speak up for what is bothering them, then what then are we doing here as a country? Or how do we even consider ourselves citizens if we can't complain about how our conditions are? So please, let's let people speak their truth. Let's let people express their feelings and stop using technicalities and all the apparatus at your disposal to gag these people, stifle them, and frustrate them. Maybe organized labor they were not bribed, but they have.
Do you know why we would think that thing happened?
Why?
If just 2 days ago, you had the CEO of Gayhawk, MD of Gayhawk, threatening his staff live on radio that if you're a man or a woman, decide to partake in the strike.
In-law is the president.
Forget about that. But as an MD, let's take it in his capacity as an MD, to issue a threat 2 days to. Did he know something that it wasn't even going to happen? So even if I say those things, it's not going to happen for you to even partake in, for me to punish you.
That's a question. Yeah, that's questions we should ask.
A lot of red flags, if you ask me. Red carpet, actually.
Your final take on this?
My final take is Obia Abua. In this country, interest above national interest. Personal interest above national interest. Anybody telling you that they want to do something for Ghana, ask them 3 times. If not, call that deity you believe in who can kill somebody instantly to ask them, what you are doing, is it personal, is it national, or you just want to do something for people to hail you?
Right.
We
Well,
are all lying to ourselves.
I pray for a Ghana where national interest would be above any other personal interest. I pray for a Ghana where it will work for every citizen that lives in Ghana. I pray for a Ghana where, you know, it will be free of violence, it will be free of polluted waters, a Ghana where it has beautiful forest reserve. I pray for a Ghana where we have beautiful rivers where children can swim and drink from. And you know
what Gen Zs will call this?
What?
You are being delulu.
Me mom. Okay, your checker is coming. The same water they use to do your checker. So the checker you love, the same water they use it. Well, this has been Sauce and Pepper. Till we come your way next time. Have a great week. We are.